Hey, welcome back to the castle. Thanks for downloading the show. Launching this podcast has been really rewarding, so we're going to keep it up every week. Remember to subscribe on your favorite podcast app, and look for us every Saturday. Today on the show we've got ZodiacDredd. Dredd is a speedrunner, he's a Kaizo player, he is the 2020 SMB3 Randomizer Challenger Cup champion. I asked Dredd to speak with me about streaming in a niche community, specifically speedrunning and Kaizo, and I wanted to know his thoughts on where the future of those communities will be. Stick around for after the interview because we put Dredd through the speedrun, and we've got a great streaming tip from Wandering Pilgrim, one of the streamers on a future episode of The Castle. Dredd, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
If you don't mind, for our listeners, can you give me a brief explanation of what Kaizo means or what that is?
The word Kaizo literally means rearranged in Japanese, shuffled around. And basically, it all started back in like 2007. I'm not sure in the exact date, but there's this guy named Takamoto who basically edited Super Mario World to make it really hard because he just wanted to like troll his friend.
Yeah, right, okay.
And basically, that's how Super Mario World Kaizo really started. It was actually called Asshole Mario World.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, that's what people called it. So that's just like the very basic roots of what Kaizo is. But over the years, people have just gone on to modify the game more and more. Basically, it's just making your own levels that are harder, I should say. That just really explores the physics and the moveset of Mario World, but it's grown into really popular subgenre where people make entire games, these hard Mario World games.
There was a video floating around, I think it was Mario 3, it might have been Mario 1. Basically, this guy trying to make every jump and hitting, what people now call a Kaizo block every single time, falling in the pit, and just him and his buddy cracking up about it.
Yeah.
And I think that was my first exposure to it, not realizing it was this whole genre.
Yeah, it's kind of just blown up in the past couple of years. It's crazy.
It's interesting watching you play, because I don't play any Kaizo games, I'm not cut out for it, but watching you play, there seems to be this kind of common understanding or common vocabulary for folks that play these games. You start into like the basic level games, which teach you the skills that you need, and then you move up into like kind of the intermediate level and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's how people start out. There's actually a hack called Learn to Kaizo, which basically just familiarizes you with the tricks that you're going to be doing. Once you understand, what you need to do, you go from there. And there's literally hundreds of hacks out there now.
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
As the community's been growing, more and more people have been making their own, which is really good.
So how do people make them, do you know?
There is a program called Lunar Magic,
Oh, okay.
which is basically like Mario Maker, but on crack. So
Right, okay.
you can really customize the game a lot more. It's pretty similar where you're just dragging and dropping blocks, but you can like edit sprites. There's a lot of people who work on custom physics, making things specifically for the game, which are crazy. Like quality of life patches, quick retry, adding just all this crazy shit. People have a polarizing view on it, where some people are saying, well, you're not really playing SMW anymore. But then other people
Right.
are like, you're making it better potentially, or you're just making it different.
Are they adding actual new mechanics, or is it more the stuff you were talking about with like the quick restarts?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is just quality of life or just like tweaks on stuff that can be just kind of like an interesting mechanic, but not nothing like too crazy. There was one patch where you can slow down the shell speed. So you
Oh,
could just
okay.
do like midairs where you just throw the shell essentially in midair and jump off of it. It's a crazy hard trick in vanilla, but there is a patch where you can tweak it so that it slows the shell down and makes it way easier. So I
Oh, it
mean,
just makes it a little bit easier. That's cool.
but then again, it's just like it's not how it was originally intended, but to each their own.
So where do you lie? What side of the dividing line are you on with that?
There's actually kind of two different types of Kaizo.
Okay.
The first, like a lot of older hacks, we just call that vanilla because it's just using what was in the game and just messing around with that. And then now there's hacks that are called chocolate, And that's where you get all the custom sprites and the custom gimmicks and physics and stuff. There's also like vanilla with chocolate sprinkles. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, you're just weird naming
Like the
convention.
lingo. I'm more of an old school kind of guy. Like I enjoy the just straight up, even some of the older hacks that are just straight vanilla. Oh, I knew it was gonna do it too. I fucking knew it. Oh, you prick, Glitch Cat.
Back in the day when I started watching you, at that time you were into speedruns for Mario Brothers 3. Was Kaizo on your radar at that point?
Yeah, I had known about Kaizo. I'd kind of been watching people play back when I was speedrunning SMB3. I was like, well, maybe I'll give it a try, but I actually wanted to wait till I got a Super Nintendo because I didn't have one at that point. I was running Mario 3 off an NES. I don't know. I've kind of become one of those snobs who are like, I only play on original hardware now just because of the input lag.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people have mentioned that it just doesn't feel right playing on an emulator or, on a Switch or something like that.
For people who are playing casually, doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Once you get into like speedrunning, I knew for me there's a noticeable difference between running on an emulator and original console. You have to change the way you jump. You literally have to jump before you think you have to do on emulator. It's crazy.
Yeah, right.
In Kaizo, it's not that much of a difference because there's still a lot of people who are really good at Kaizo who play on emulator.
Oh, okay.
People play on keyboard, use
No.
keyboard keys. Yeah.
It drives me crazy when people play Rocket League on keyboard. I don't understand these people.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes controllers mess people's hands up and they have to play on keyboard.
Oh, yeah, right. What got you into speedrunning in the first place? Speedrunning in Kaizo. Did somebody introduce you to that, or what prompted it?
I think it was Grand Pooh Bear. He actually used to run Super Mario Brothers 3. And I was like, yeah, that's like one of my favorite games of all time. Oh, that looks so cool. Like, I want to do that. And that's basically how it started. It's basically just like, I want to be able to do this cool shit.
I think it's becoming more mainstream, like with SGGQ and all that. SDGQ, I can't say it right. But
SGDQ.
they're running multiple events every year and they're getting huge audiences, so I think it's kind of coming more to the forefront, especially with Mario Maker and all that too.
Yeah, back in the day, people kind of viewed speedrunning as, oh, you can't do it unless you're the top elite. I mean, because that's mostly what you see,
Right.
especially in these charity events. You're seeing pretty much the top runners from those games. And so it can be a little intimidating, but I think more and more people figured, hey, you could just pick your favorite game, slap a timer on it, and there you go, you're speedrunning, you know?
Yeah, right. Put down a PB.
Yeah, exactly. I know for me, the big draw of speedrunning is just I'm basically competing against myself. And that's like, I don't really care about leaderboards or anything. I just care about what's my best time. I want to get to that. I want to put down the best time that I can possibly do.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's what I enjoy about Dark Souls. That's why I pushed you to play Dark Souls so hard, because I do see those similarities, right?
Yeah. Dark Souls is very similar to Kaizo. It's just a lot of like trial and error. You die till you get it right.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the basis of the both games.
I see the same thing with speedrunning too. Every attempt at a speedrun feels like a run at a boss almost.
Yeah, you're just trying to put the best possible run together.
You were talking about Super Mario 3 being a favorite of yours. And I think
Mhm.
we're kind of in the same age bracket here, where NES was part of our childhood, SNES after that. Those games when we were kids were notoriously hard, or some of them were anyway. Were you playing difficult stuff when you were a kid? Like, were you drawn to that?
Not really. I mean, I grew up with NES, so yes, I know about Nintendo Hard, they called it.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know?
Like the
So,
Mega Mans and stuff like that, right?
yeah. I think as I got older, I was more drawn to more difficult games. Yeah, I started with NES and then go to like I never had a Super Nintendo actually growing up.
Oh,
It's
really?
kind of
No
weird.
kidding.
Yeah. I skipped that and went to I got 64 after that. That was like the greatest Christmas ever. So,
You were the kid in the video, right? The oh my god, Nintendo
yeah,
64.
yeah, pretty
That was
much,
you.
man. It was weird, especially for people my age, because we like grew up with NES, moved on to like 64, and then you kind of move into like PlayStation, Xbox 360 era.
Yeah, right.
And that's like basically when I was in early 20s, and then that's when you're playing all of your Call of Duty online and stuff. and
Yeah,
then
right.
and
The
then
dark years.
yeah, and then after that I kind of circled back to playing retro games. I like to play modern games too now. I got the PS4 and I was like, "Oh man, I missed out on a lot of good games."
You were playing God of War there. That wasn't too long ago, half a year ago or so. You've been playing some Dark Souls games as well. With Dark Souls 1, you did stream a lot of that. Dark Souls 2, it seems like you played mostly offline. Do you play a lot of games kind of offline, off stream?
There's definitely games that are more stream friendly, you know? I just like started playing Dark Souls 2 offline just kind of casually, and then I was like, "Ah, this is really grindy and not really I wouldn't want to watch me grinding." The Iron Keep. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, right.
It's bullshit. But I know like Dark Souls, people love to see first playthroughs of that. So I wanted to make sure I streamed that whole experience. But pretty much my stream time is my game time. I'm basically just recording what I'm going to play anyways. I try to sneak in a few hours offline here and there if Lady Dread lets me.
The boss lets you.
Just give me the look. I like to break it up too. I can't play Kaizo or speedrunning all the time. I get burnt out of it. So I need to break it up, and I consider Dark Souls like my relaxing game. And take a break from super hard Kaizo. I relax with some Dark Souls.
There you go.
Oh my god, he can jump up here? No!
At least in Dark Souls, you can grind out, like, you can level up. You can overpower yourself. It's not really
Right.
something you can do in Kaizo.
No, you just got to get good.
I mean, is there a difference with what you're playing when you're not online, when you're not streaming, or is it just basically you'll play whatever, whenever, online or off?
Yeah, I'll play whatever, whenever. Typically, I only play Kaizo on stream because it's, no vid, no did type of deal. I'll play hacks I've already played just to kind of like practice or have a fun casual run. But all my new stuff, I do it all on stream. And then as far as like other games, PS4 games or Switch games, I'll just play those whenever.
So I mean, all your de-rusting, all your practice, that kind of stuff, it seems like you do that on stream too. You're not saving that for offline time or anything like that.
Nope. Like I said, basically my stream time is my game time, so I play whatever I want, you know.
How long have you been streaming for?
Think it's a little more than 2 years. It was like January 2018.
So probably not too much before I met you then, I don't think. Did you start with speedrunning Mario 3 when you were streaming, or what did you start with?
Yeah, I think I did. I might have played some other weird little games, but yeah, it was basically speedrunning SMB3.
What kind of audience do you find that you get when you're streaming speedruns or Kaizo or that kind of thing? Is it different folks than you when you're streaming other games, or is it a particular group?
Yeah, Kaizo has a large community.
Yeah,
It's a lot of streamers too. So it's weird because you'll see all of us hang out in each other's streams
right, yeah.
because we're all kind of like Kaizo nerds. And you get like regulars who will watch me play anything. But yeah, I've met a lot of people through the Kaizo community. We all just like support each other. It's kind of the same thing with SMB3. Speedrunning in general, everybody will hang out in each other's stream, supporting, and you're watching someone run, because it can be exciting, especially like watching new runners start making moves and getting PBs and stuff. It can be exciting, to watch some up and comers. So, retro communities, especially, people are passionate about old school games, and it's typically an older audience too.
You're not getting the
You know,
Fortnite crowd. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, you're not getting like the young whippersnappers in there.
You've streamed some Fortnite. I remember those days.
Yeah, I
Yep.
I played
I think it was a couple of them.
I dicked around with it for a little bit. I played on Switch. It was fun because I played with all the other scrubs who were playing it on Switch. It was
Those
actually
thumbsticks
awesome.
are hard for that, man.
Yeah, it was fun to play for a little bit, but it was just like, yeah, I'm in my 30s. Like, I can't be playing this shit. I tried playing Warzone.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you played that? The Call of
No,
Duty?
no. I got into Apex for a while, but I didn't play Warzone.
It's pretty cool, but I just get my ass handed to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty trash at that stuff.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. I used to love playing that stuff, but I kind of fell out of it as I got older.
What was your big shooter when you were younger? Was it the Call of Duty stuff?
Yeah, it was a lot of Black Ops 2. I know I played a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
that was a good one.
The 360 era, man.
Yeah.
Hell
That was a
yeah.
golden age, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I played a lot of like GTA and then Call of Duty.
Yeah, right. Going back to your audience though, you had mentioned that community for Kaizo and for speedrunning, they're super supportive. It's kind of a crew that you see in each other's channels. Do you feel like Kaizo limits your audience or limits the kind of people that come to your streams, or do you think it's a benefit?
It definitely does limit the audience just because it is such a niche thing. It's actually getting really popular now, though. So I have been seeing an uptick of more casual viewers who are like, oh, what's this? It's blowing up a lot more. But typically, yeah, your main audience is people who pretty much run Kaizo, which is fine, though, because it's not weird random people. It's people who like enjoy
Right.
Kaizo, because random viewers are cool, but sometimes they can be weirdos. You get your weirdo troll
Yeah, man.
people. But yeah, it definitely attracts more of the hardcore fans of the genre.
Oh my god. Shame. That's one way to do it.
And I talk to people who a lot of their advice is to stick to something specific, either a genre or a game or a theme. And it actually is better than a lot of variety streamers who jump from game to game. Because when people see your name go live, they know what to expect from you. They know, oh, Dredd's live. Let's see what he's doing today. Oh, he's doing a race or he's doing a randomizer. This is the kind of stuff that I know what he's going to do. I can go back to that.
You'll hear general advice like that. I think it's more pertinent of when you're just getting started
Yeah, that's
is
fair.
to kind of pick like, your favorite game, play that, get involved in the community, start networking that way, and then you can branch out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being straight variety streamer, but it's harder,
Yeah.
especially when you're getting started. Basically, my first year of streaming, it was pretty much Super Mario Bros. 3 speedrun. That's what I want to be known for. After a while, I realized, you know what? I just want to play what I want. I kind of shifted my mindset to be more casual about this, like more relaxed, stop trying to push it and make it a thing, just have fun with it. I've actually been having a way better time in that mindset.
Were you really goal driven in those early days?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. And I think it's more of a newer streamer
Yeah.
mentality, especially if you're like trying to push for like affiliate. But I think definitely, at least for me, I've been more relaxed, just having more fun, worrying about playing the games and not so much as, oh, how many people are watching.
Yeah, I mean, you and I were chatting a little bit before we started recording, but I totally think that's a trap that's easy for new streamers. You can start with that headspace where you're like, I'm just going to do it for fun. I don't care if anyone watches. But the first time you get good numbers, then all of a sudden you got the taste for it.
Yeah, definitely. You can say it doesn't matter, but then you get a huge raid and then it's like, whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
man.
Let me look at the analytics here. Here we go. But
Right.
but
What
yeah,
time
like
of
you
day
said,
should I start streaming? And yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Like you said, if you worry about that too much, then the next day you stream and you're at zero again, it can deflate you.
Yeah, that's right. If you celebrate the victories too hard, you got to take the defeats too, which can be rough. So you talked about, you moved from the Mario 3 speed runs. What you had said was that you moved to just play what you want to play. But it seems like what you want to play seems to be the Kaizo stuff. That wasn't goal oriented so much as it's just you were into Kaizo.
Yeah, like I said, I'd been watching it and I was like, I want to try that. That looks fun. So this was back, it was last March 2019. And it was actually after the randomizer tournament. And I had been just burnt out from speedrunning Mario 3. Like,
Yeah,
I just wasn't seeing any more progression. I was getting like frustrated with the game, frustrated with myself. It started becoming not fun,
sure, yeah.
which kind of sucks. I just wasn't having as much fun with it. And then so that around that time, my buddy gave me he had an extra Super Nintendo. And so I got that and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Kaizo a shot. And then, yeah, that's been pretty much it for the past year. I've just kind of fallen hard for Kaizo.
I mean, I'm digging the streams. They're a lot of fun. And, you talked about getting frustrated with the lack of progression or slow progression with your speedrunning for Mario 3. I feel like there's 1,000 walls in Kaizo to hit, like almost literally. It seems like the most frustrating thing in the world to play. Do you get salty when you play Kaizo?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you see me. Old man yells at video game. um,
Old man yells at lag
uh,
too.
the only thing I really get salty about is if something's unfair. If it's just me messing up, doesn't really bother me because I'm like, oh, I screwed up. But if there's some jank in the game that's out of my control, that's what pisses me off because it's like, come on, I can't do anything about that. It's funny because I'll sound salty at times, but then I laugh it off and try again.
Well, yeah, there's kind of like the silly salty, and then there's like when you're actual salty, but I don't see more of the latter coming through for you. I feel like for the most part, you're having fun with it.
Yeah, it's kind of just moments where you're just like, come on. And then you're like, well, let's try it again. That's the nature of Kaizo. It's a lot of trial and error till you get it right.
Yeah, I find it's hard to watch a streamer who's getting genuinely frustrated with the game. I gotta imagine that's on your mind when you're streaming because you know you get the audience there, you know that they're rooting for you. Is it difficult to stream a Kaizo in front of an audience?
No, I
No?
mean, a lot of people who watch me, they think it's funny too, though, when I get a little bit
Yeah,
of
yeah.
salt.
Sure, yeah.
It's just funny watching me struggle sometimes. I mean, that's, the point of it. It just makes it sweeter when you clear a level. It's almost like, yeah, we did it. Not I did it. We did it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like a community thing.
Yeah, people are there with you the whole time, pretty much experiencing it exactly as you are. So when you get those clears, it's all the more sweeter.
Yeah, I find, it's the type of game, and I'm going to draw the comparison with Dark Souls again, but the audiences that come to watch you speedrun or to watch you with the Kaizo, yeah, they want to see you fuck it up and laugh at it, but ultimately they want to see you succeed.
Yeah, that's why it can be so elating because when you get a PB or a level clear, it's just, I never get that real hype about it. It's more like relief than like, yay, we did it. Like, oh boy, we're done with that.
Open! Oh, I'm dead. That I can outrun him. Damn it. That's okay, because we can get back both our flags.
We were talking about the Kaizo community, and I wanted to ask you how that community is changing or evolving, or if it is at all. Have you noticed any kind of change that way?
Well, it's definitely getting bigger. There's more and more people making hacks. There's definitely more exposure, especially with speedrunning events too. There's usually a Kaizo hack or two being played, at HDQ or SGDQ.
Yeah, right.
So that definitely gets eyeballs on it. 2-3 years ago, basically Super Mario World, it was just like a handful of people either playing the game
Hmm.
casually or speedrunning it. It'd be like literally 4 streams up. Now you can jump on SMW today. There'll be what, like 10, 20 people, and they're pretty much only playing Kaizo. So it's crazy.
So you find it's getting more widespread, not more niche then?
Yeah, it's becoming more mainstream. And especially with games like Mario Maker,
Yeah.
definitely is kind of adjacent because there's a lot of Kaizo levels in that too. More and more people getting exposed to it. It's definitely becoming more of a mainstream thing. I mean, it's still in the grand scheme of things in Twitch, it's still very much niche, but it's definitely growing in popularity. It's bigger than Super Mario Brothers 3.
I wanted to go back actually just to something you said earlier about how you can get frustrated when the hack seems unfair, when it's more of an issue with the mechanics or something like that, rather than just a difficult part. Have you run into a lot of hacks that have been poorly made? Do you find there's a real kind of spectrum of quality?
Usually some of the older hacks are a little bit more janky just because they were so new at that time, but I mean
Yeah,
they're
right.
still enjoyable to play. Where you get hacks is SMW Central, and it's basically just a patch file. You're just patching a ROM of Super Mario World, changing the code of the game. But before it gets posted up on that website, it has to go through moderation
Oh,
and play
really?
testing. Yeah, so it's really kind of like a normal game. People will have friends or people that they know in the community actually play test the level and kind of find bugs and stuff. Then it has to go through moderators who really explore the whole game and make sure it's up to snuff, I want
Yeah,
to say.
right.
They'll release updates to games too. So they're pretty well polished by the time they get to people. So they're like full-fledged, games.
Yeah, I had no idea that there was that much quality control involved. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some people out there who don't see them as real games. They're like, "Oh, it's
Hmm.
just someone like a fan made hack, but you can play these games start to finish. It's like a full fledged thing, they're complete.
Yeah, and the ones that I see you play anyway, they progress in difficulty, they progress with the mechanics that they teach you along the way, almost like you're playing something like Portal. It does feel like a professionally made game. I had assumed you were just picking out the best ones, but it sounds like there's a lot of quality control for anything that's released that way.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain hacks that stand out as like primo ones people consider the best. But there are a lot of other good ones out there. Basically what I did is I picked hacks that went from easy to intermediate. And now I'm kind of playing like harder stuff. I kind of gradually eased into it just to get a little bit more experience. It has actually served me very well because I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours on one level.
Yeah,
So
right.
definitely playing a lot more, getting more experience has definitely helped me to take on these harder hacks.
You've got a master list or something along those lines, don't you? And kind of sorted by difficulty too, if I'm right.
Yeah, I'd seen other people do it. People like to document it, and I'm kind of like a nerd like that where I love making lists. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna play Kaizo, I just want to like record it, record the results. I don't really care about the time. Basically, what I wanted to do was actually mark my journey for it to try to get a semblance of the difficulty of these hacks. Because you could have like a really good player say, "Oh, that hack's easy." It's like,
Yeah,
well,
right.
you're really good at the game. It's kind of biased. So I kind of wanted to do it more empirically. So I basically take my hack, I time it, I take the overall time I spent completing it, and I just divide that by the number of levels. So that average kind of gives you a good baseline, especially if you're just starting out. I found it gives a really good metric to the difficulty of it. It's a little bit more objective than subjective. It's kind of what I wanted to go for. I just really wanted to help out newer players, actually.
So you're creating a tool.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to like get a more, I want to say like unbiased view of difficulty for these hacks. Just an overall better look at it. Because you'll see other people, they just have a list of, oh, here's what I've played. But I was like, well, I want to time it and put some numbers on here and color code it from like green to red, easier to hard. And you can actually go through and look at it. And I guess there is some bias because it's my times, but I think since I started a lot with the easier hacks and then moved on to generally more difficult stuff, it does actually give a good representation of what you can
Mhm.
realistically look at in terms of difficulty for these games.
So this is a really cool idea. I didn't realize that you were cataloging them in the way that you are. Is that available somewhere? Like, could I go on and see your list?
Yeah, it's all up on, it's just a Google Doc thing.
I'll get the link from you after this so I can put it in the show notes if you don't mind. You could easily expand upon that with getting other players to add their data to it. I think it's a great idea. I didn't realize you were doing that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Definitely other people have lists out there. I might just try to like really try to nail down the difficulty because difficulty is not really listed on SMW Central. It's just all Kaizo Light. Unless you've like seen it before, you really don't know what you're in for with these
Right.
games. And I think they're working on a better rating system. Yeah, I don't know. I just like to make lists and I get bored, so I just like to write everything down.
Do you think Kaizo's a long-term thing for you?
Yeah, definitely. I've beaten like 30 hacks in this past year. Basically, I have about 40 more that I want to play. And then new ones coming out all the time. So I'll definitely be playing it for the foreseeable future.
You're not burning out on it yet, anything like that you find though, eh?
No, I'm actually really excited. I'm playing some of like the classics and super hard ones and ramping up to Grand Poo World 1 and 2, which are considered the primo hacks. Yeah, just super excited to play more hacks, basically.
It's been a blast to watch. I think it makes really good content. I'm really digging the streams when you play the Kaizo stuff. People can find you online, Twitch at ZodiacDredd, Dredd. Anything else you got going on you want to promote?
It's going to be a lot of Kaizo. I'm working through Super Dram World right now at the time of this recording. So I kind of want to get through that. I finished the first two Dark Souls, so I think I want to play 3. And then after that, it's going to be, I want to play all the Souls boards games. So after Dark Souls 3, it's going to be Bloodborne and then
Oh,
Sekiro.
nice.
So
Oh,
so
man, I
that's
can't
going to
wait.
be in the foreseeable future. And then I don't know. I have to find some other games to play, other hard games. I don't know. I defer to you. You're the king of
The trash at hard
the
games king.
newer. Yeah, exactly. I defer to your expertise for newer games. So
That's terrifying.
yeah, I know it is.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for chatting with me today. You good to stick around for the speed run?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I see what you did there.
It's actually what I call it for everybody. It wasn't
Nice.
special for you. Just thought it was an easy
Oh,
name.
come on, lie to me.
Yeah, you're right. It was just for you.
Nice.
Thanks again to ZodiacDredd for talking with me today. He's participating in a charity event this Sunday, May 3rd. So if you're listening in time, be sure to check that out. Coming up next, we put Dredd through the speedrun, and a great streaming tip from Wandering Pilgrim. Alright, Dredd, you ready for the speedrun?
Let's do it.
Alright, I got 10 questions here. I'm going to ask them. I want really quick answers from you. Don't think about them, just give them to me.
Don't think. Okay, that's my specialty.
That's your strong suit?
Yeah, not thinking.
Alright, here we go. Number 1, what's the best 90s action movie?
90s action movie?
You gotta do it quick.
Boy. Die Hard.
Jeez,
That's
it took
easy.
forever. Die Hard? Not Terminator? Oh yeah, I suppose.
Terminator 2.
Okay.
Fine, Terminator 2. There you go.
What's your favorite Minor Simpsons character?
Minor Simpsons, probably like Otto.
Oh, there you go, okay. What was the best boss in Dark Souls 1?
Best boss.
Swear to God if you say Beta Chaos.
The best one?
The best one. You're taking forever. What's the worst
None of
Mario game? None of them.
Worst Mario game? Probably Mario's Missing.
I never played that one. What was that? What's the other one?
It's terrible.
Mario's Hotel or something like that? What was that?
Yeah, like there's some weird old ones on the NES that are just awful.
What's your favorite brand of beer?
Favorite brand of beer? Probably PBR.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's just what I'm used to.
What was your favorite childhood toy?
Favorite childhood toy? Probably anything Ghostbusters or Ninja Turtles.
There you go. Okay. What's
Yeah.
the worst level in Mario 3?
Worst level? Any of the auto scrollers.
Okay. What game has the best soundtrack?
Best soundtrack? Mega Man 2.
2?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose. Everyone loves 2. 3's the real winner, but everyone loves 2.
Nah, two's better.
Who has the best hamburger, the best burger?
Best burger? If you're talking chain stuff, I'd say like Five Guys.
Oh yeah, we just got a Five Guys here. I don't know if it's gonna stay open
Nice.
past this.
But we have a lot of like local places that do like Juicy Lucy's. So
I don't know what the hell it is. I'm not gonna ask though. What
That's
was
with
your?
cheese inside the middle of the burger.
Oh,
It's
okay.
amazing.
Damn.
Amazing.
What was your first job?
First job, I worked as a dishwasher for a bakery.
Oh really? Okay,
Yeah.
a dishwasher in a bakery. That sounds rough.
Yep.
Did you answer me? What was the best boss from Dark Souls 1? Did I get an answer?
No.
Okay. What's the best boss in Dark Souls 1?
I don't know. I don't remember any of them.
I remember how much you like gargoyles. I remember that.
Yeah, I'll say gargoyles. Those are the best ones. 8 hours of gargoyles.
All right, Dredd, you're way too slow for me, but thanks for joining me on the speed run.
It's hard to think.
Hard for us to think. Us old men.
You gotta go fast, man.
That's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And now a quick tip about streaming.
Don't compromise your channel for viewers. I say viewers as opposed to followers because, sure, if you're trying to reach affiliate status, it looks at followers. But ultimately, a consistent viewership is far more important than followers. Followers will come and go. Viewers are much more likely to stay if they're consistent. And during that time when you're trying to build a viewer base, you might be tempted to overlook things that someone does that, while it would be like a gray area, might be admissible in some areas, not in others. Like it doesn't line up with what you want for your channel. If something or someone is not healthy for that, for you or your channel or your community, you got to be willing to cut them out. No matter what or who it is, no matter if it's someone who's new or might be influential, or even if it's someone who's been one of the OGs. If they aren't willing to respect what you're wanting to do and all that, cut them out. You will save yourself a lot of headache when you stick to the principles you had from the start instead of compromising on that for the short-term gain of having that follower stay around or that viewer stay around.
That brings us to the end of episode 4 of The Castle. Be sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast application. You can find me on Twitter at Nether_Castle. Same with Twitch. My page is Nether_Castle. We're live every Monday and Wednesday evening.